Grandpa Hill's True Stories. I'm Grandpa Hill, and I'm sitting here with one of my 23 grandchildren. And he's going to listen to another Grandpa Hill's True Story. This is something that truly happened to me in 1975. I flew a jet airplane. See that airplane right there? That's a T33. And Grandpa flew that plane. For real. So there's two places to sit. There's one up front, he's called the pilot. And the one in the back called a co-pilot.
Just in case the other pilot falls to sleep or get hurt.
Fall asleep, get hurt, but in this case, for training. So when they're training, when you're first training, you'll be in the back seat. They call it the navigator seat, co-pilot. And then later on, once you learn, you'll be up in the front seat. And you'll be flying. Either one of you can fly. The controls are so that either person can fly. And you can take the controls away and give the controls back and stuff. So, I was at the United States Air Force Academy in 1975, and I was in line. And I was in line with my flight suit on, because I was in line to get in that plane. We were going to have a promotional activity. And it was to get us young men excited about flying airplanes. Most of us were there because we wanted to fly. And I wanted to fly. So my dad, not my dad, you can you can open the door. Very nice. So now another man has stepped in to listen to the story.
Oh boy.
We are telling a story about when Grandpa Hill flew a jet airplane. And we're looking at the T33 and explaining where people sit in it.
Oh my gosh.
And how I was in line with my flight suit on.
Oh my goodness. You rode in that?
Well, I didn't just ride it. I flew it.
You flew it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Oh.
I'm in line. And I am the very first person in line. Because I want to be the first one up. Now, there was 3 or 4 of these flying at one time. But I was the very first one. So I'm in line, get in the seat. And they close the canopy down over you. And now you start the taxi. And the jets come on. So the jet is underneath there. There's an air scoop in the front. And the exhaust out the back. And these things out here are not missiles. Those are tanks. They hold a lot of the fuel.
Oh.
All right. So we're getting ready to go. There's 100 of us are going to go flying. But only one at a time. It's only 2 passengers. One of them's a regular pilot. So we get up in the air. And it's really like you're in the back of the seat. And you're off. You don't feel it coming off just like you do on a commercial jet. You're just off. You don't feel any drag from the wheels. By the time you feel any of that with the rumble of the jet and everything, you don't feel it. You're up in the air. So we get up in the air. We're up maybe about 5,000 feet. Not super high. Mile high. And maybe it was 2 miles, I don't know. But you're up there like this, and you're just sitting in the plane, and you don't know what's going on. You're just sitting there, You just have your hands flat on the armrests. And then the plane goes like this. Oh, whoop, knocked the lamp down. Anyway, so we tip like that. We tip almost 90 degrees. Now you're looking down at the ground. Okay? And he says, see that? That's Pikes Peak. So you're looking at the mountain called Pikes Peak.
Yeah, Colorado.
You're right over the top of it. And then you count about 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're this way. It says, see that? That's Monument Pass. It seemed like it was about 6 seconds. And they're about 7 miles apart.
Oh my goodness.
It's just like boom, boom. We were moving.
Wow.
Then we go up a little higher. And then he says, put your foot on that pedal there. On the right. And you'll feel, it's all floppy. He says, you'll feel it stiffen up. And it stiffened up. My right foot. And he said, put your hand on the stick. That's this. It's like a joystick. Okay, but it's big and it comes up. And he says, and it's all floppy too. He says, it'll stiffen up. It stiffens up. Then he says, you're flying.
Oh my goodness.
And when that happened, this I got to put the computer down. And when that happened, I go like, I'm holding the stick steady and my knees are knocking back and forth. I was so scared. I really was scared.
Wow.
Because it was just like, you're flying. I got this jet airplane. I'm flying. Just the words, but nothing changed in the plane.
Right.
Just, you're flying.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, we're not going to make any barrel rolls or anything like that. The tanks are too full. And he says, but we're going to go and make a turn. So he says, you go into the turn, you'll feel this, and then you'll tighten up, this will get tighter, it'll get a little bit tighter, and you lean on that stick a little bit, and the plane starts, nothing like like when he did it quick. It'd be like when you watch the air show type stuff. Yeah. It was really quick.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing it, it's just a slow turn, okay? Yeah. And then the next thing that happens is the plane goes like this. The whole plane going back and forth underneath me. Like it's going to rub my rear end. Okay. Just like hot. The whole thing starts shuddering. And I think you're like, this thing's blowing up. The ejection sheets are going to come on. And we're going to be out in space. Because I thought it was the end, because it was really hard.
Wow.
And then just like as soon as maybe about 7 or 8 shakes, and then the pedal is limp and the stick is limp. And I'm not flying anymore. And I've never flown a plane again. But that's my story.
Wow.
What do you think?
I loved it.
You want to do it too?
Maybe.
Maybe when you get a little older. It would have been nice if I get a little worried about things. But I also don't deal with the surprise too well. So I was so surprised. I was really looking forward to flying the airplane.
Speaking of surprises.
Hello. Well, that's the end of the story. The women got it.
Are you going to tell me a story?